Prayers have been pouring in for Juanita Bynum after a deeply emotional and shocking update left her supporters reeling. What she shared recently has stunned fans, left the gospel community in disbelief, and prompted many to wonder if she is navigating the hardest chapter of her life yet. The story of Juanita Bynum is one that has always carried weight in the gospel world. For decades, her name has been synonymous with powerful preaching, prophetic insight, and stirring gospel music. Her words have challenged hearts and offered comfort to countless believers across the globe. From sermons that ignited spiritual passion to songs that touched the deepest emotions, Bynum established herself as a voice unafraid to speak truth, even when it was hard to hear. Yet, behind the public persona of strength, her life has also been filled with trials, controversy, and moments of raw vulnerability. This recent revelation reminds the world that even the most revered voices in ministry are human and face struggles that are often hidden from the spotlight. The update Juanita shared was not just another clip of a sermon or a social media post. It carried the gravity of someone who has weathered storms repeatedly and continues to stand, though sometimes barely holding on by sheer grace. For those who have followed her journey, the news has reopened old wounds, sparked concern, and ignited conversations about the unseen battles that spiritual leaders often endure. Bynum's story has always been one of contrasts, moments of immense triumph juxtaposed with deep pain, periods of glory alongside times of heartbreak. Her recent update adds another layer to a life marked by both resilience and vulnerability. In speaking with raw honesty, she reminded the gospel community that even those who spend years praying for others sometimes need prayers themselves. Juanita Bynum first gained widespread recognition long before her name became linked to best-selling books, chart-topping gospel albums, and major conferences. She started as a preacher with an intensity and fire that was unusual for her age and experience. Her breakout moment came in 1997 with a sermon titled "No More Sheets," where she candidly discussed her personal struggles with broken relationships, sexual sin, and the journey toward healing. That message struck a chord particularly with women who had endured silent battles of their own. Overnight, she became a household name within Christian circles. What made her stand out was her courage to remove the veil of perfection and expose the messy, real side of faith. She spoke not from a theoretical perspective, but as someone who had lived through the storms she described. Despite ministering to others, her life often mirrored the very struggles she addressed from the pulpit. The latest update she shared continues that pattern of transparency. Without sugarcoating her pain or resorting to cliches, Bynum revealed that she is currently facing one of the most difficult seasons of her life. She did not go into every detail, but her tone conveyed deep emotional strain and possibly health-related concerns. She spoke about the toll that ministry, public scrutiny, and private hardships have taken on her spirit. Her words painted a picture of a woman who has spent years pouring into others while quietly enduring her own suffering. This is not the first time Juanita Bynum has opened up about personal hardship. Her highly publicized marriage to Bishop Thomas Weekas III ended amid scandal and heartbreak, following a domestic violence incident that unfolded under intense media attention. That period nearly broke her, yet she found the strength to continue preaching, singing, and writing. Later she faced criticism over financial decisions, her lifestyle, and public disagreements with other ministers. Through it all, she remained in ministry, insisting that her scars were integral to her testimony. This latest season, however, feels different. The vulnerability in her voice revealed not just a passing storm, but the weight of carrying years of battles on her shoulders. She admitted how exhausting it is to meet the relentless expectations placed upon her, and reminded her supporters that spiritual leaders are human too. For a woman who has often been larger than life in ministry, this reminder of her humanity resonated deeply with those who look up to her. The response from the gospel community has been overwhelming. Social media has been flooded with prayers, encouraging messages, and heartfelt support. Fans have shared clips of her past sermons, reflecting on how her words once gave them strength in their darkest moments. Fellow ministers and pastors have called for prayer chains, urging believers to cover her in the same way she has prayed for countless others. The collective plea is simple, yet profound: pray for Juanita. What makes this moment even more significant is its timing. The gospel community itself has faced turbulence in recent years, with scandals, church controversies, and personal tragedies touching some of its most prominent figures. Leaders once considered untouchable have revealed their own vulnerabilities. Juanita Bynum's candid update adds to this narrative, illustrating that even spiritual leaders are not exempt from struggle. Yet, her story is not solely one of hardship. It is also a story of resilience. Time and again, Bynum has faced situations that could have ended her ministry, only to rise again stronger than before. After the public fallout of her marriage, many assumed her influence would diminish, but she expanded her reach globally. When critics mocked her mistakes, she turned criticism into opportunity, producing new books and messages that inspired people worldwide. When personal attacks threatened to silence her, she refused to let scandal define her destiny. As the gospel world rallies around her, the hope is that this period of openness will lead to restoration, healing, and a renewed sense of purpose. Juanita Bynum has spent decades carrying the burdens of others, and now the collective prayers, support, and love of her community aim to lift some of that weight from her shoulders. In doing so, the gospel world witnesses a profound truth: the same compassion, faith, and devotion that Bynum has shared with the world can be returned, creating a cycle of grace that strengthens both the giver and the recipient. In the end, Juanita Bynum's journey is a story of resilience, honesty, and human connection. It is a testament to the enduring power of faith when paired with courage and vulnerability. Her latest update, though heart-wrenching, has united her audience in prayer and reflection. It has reminded everyone that behind every message of hope and encouragement is a human heart that sometimes needs to be nurtured and supported. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all: even those who inspire the most need to be carried, loved, and prayed for, and in receiving that care, they find the strength to continue being a beacon of light in a world that often struggles to see its own path.